to another episode of At Home with the Wolves. My name is Bernard. Welcome to our channel. We are here on my land at the moment. I thought this would be a fitting place to do this footage, specifically because this footage is about this land here today. And basically I want to give you the rundown of our journey so far. Not everything has been honky-dory. Everything has not been well. And that's due to a lot of factors which I'm going to go into now. So let me backtrack it a little bit. So we bought land about 2 years ago from a broker. We met him online. We watched his story, his journey to Ghana for him and his family. We saw that he was selling land. We saw other people had bought from him. He had testimonials and so on and so forth, which I never ever really pay attention to. So we had a consultation. And off the back of that consultation, we had decided to go ahead with him. Now, for those of you that don't know, Ghana was never our first choice. Our first choice was Gambia, and it was going to be Gambia because we were going to venture it in a business and work with one of my close friends and do a partnership and build something where we could have holiday homes and just rent it out, basically. And then things started changing in the UK, and we said, oh, well, if they're not ready, then let's just see what we can try and do and what we can find out for the small budget we had. So we proceeded with the broker that we found online. Now, we paid him. We had a consultation. The consultation was all right. Impressions. My wife was really impressed, I think. I wouldn't say really impressed, but she was impressed by him. She loved his story. She followed him. She got me to watch his videos. I'm not really keen on following and watching people. That's just my stance on things. So through her, I was seeing his content and making my own decisions for myself. My wife really wanted it. We really wanted it. We really wanted to be up and out. And it seemed like something that we knew was a gambit off the bat. But we were very open to the fact that, do you know what, this could be true. This could not. Sorry, I keep looking back because there's farmers just on the land. I'm just making sure they don't cut in front of the camera. But yes, we knew basically that it would be a gambit. Buying land abroad, let alone online, from anybody is not advisable unless they are a registered company and you do your research and your due diligence. Now, when you're buying abroad, your due diligence does not stop. Let me say that for one. That's the one point I'm going to give you. The due diligence does not stop. Just as you have the paperwork, the due diligence continues, and it should be something that should be thought out at every stage of the way, every step of the way that you're doing. And in order to save yourself from certain heartaches is to have boots on the ground when you come and you visit wherever you want to buy. Put something on your land and see who comes out, and see if anybody comes to lay claim to the land, if you can draw any family out. That's the whole point of putting stones and blocks and sand on a piece of land, is to draw anybody that lays claim to it to you, so you can discuss with them and settle with them if that is the case. Now, for us, that was never ever supposed to be the case, because as according to the broker, this was a package deal, and the package deal was really what sold us, you know. It really spoke to our hearts. We loved the vision, we loved the idea, we still love the vision, we still love the idea, you know. It's just executed poorly. But yes, so the package we were told that we were getting was store land, litigation free, paperwork, indentures and registration. So after consultation, we paid right out for an acre. And then a week later, my wife said, we have a big family. She really thinks we need another acre, just because we wanted to live sustainably. She said we need another acre for farming because we're a growing family, you know. Like we were one of 6 already. We're one of 6, you know. So we're not a small family, we're a big family. And then on top of that, we had Maya, sorry. She was born August the 4th. So that was a very interesting experience because I actually delivered her myself. Anyway, so the things that we were promised, we started to realize once we came here that they don't exist. You know, from abroad, from after we purchased, we were able to hire a contractor to do the build for our house. The house build was phenomenal. The contractor was he was like everything we could imagine for. He kept in communication, you know, he kept us updated. Like the money transfers, we never had no issues with the money transfers. When he said he'll do things, he did things, you know. He was really great, and I still stand by him today. So as far as we were concerned with the build, we had no issues. Nobody came to stop the build. Nobody came to lay claim to the land. So we thought, yes, wicked, thumbs up. Before we started building, we also got our paperwork because we came to Ghana and we met with a broker. We saw the land. First impressions was, it's nice, it's vast, but there's nothing here. There's like no development, there's no roads. So for me, I was a bit skeptical because the broker was telling me that he was a developer, and from where I was standing, there was no development. However, I could see the potential. And according to the WhatsApp group, there was many of us, so it's not just me alone, but this is just my story. So that alone gave me additional confidence that other people had confidence in this person too. So we started building, we built. A year later the build was finished, not completely. We still have the outside finishing touches to do, a little few finishing touches inside, but we built to a standard where we could exit the UK quickly and come. So we did just that. We exited, me and my wife and my 4 kids at the time, and we came to Ghana. We moved in. We spent two weeks, maybe 3 weeks in an Airbnb in Amasaman, and then we were periodically doing trips to the land while I was just coming in and make sure that the electrics were working, the lights were working, the generator was working, the water was on, you know, the pump was working. So it was by no means a holiday or easy or anything like that, but we had no roadblocks in terms of building. Nobody came, nobody troubled us, nobody troubled the workers. I was even here for I think 8 weeks. I cut it down to 6 weeks because I got homesick. I miss my kids and my wife. So I went home 2 weeks early and we built remotely from abroad, and it was a phenomenal experience. It was something we never ever envisioned that we could do, but we did it. We made it happen. Anyway, bounce forward to moving in now. So we've moved in, we're living on the land, everybody's seeing us now, we're saying hello to people, making our presence known on the land, because we built on the first acre, but on the back of the first acre, which is still visible from the roadside, if any of you've seen the videos. And I think a couple of months, maybe August, I think after Kari was born, so it was after August the 4th, we got a visit. I was walking on the road and I was talking to somebody who was viewing their land across the river behind me, and when I came back up, I spoke to somebody who told me that they were a chief down the road and they own this land. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, because I bought from this broker, I gave his name. He said, oh, I know the guy. He said, he hasn't settled us. He said, but we will talk. I said, okay, we'll talk. We continued working. There was no hostility or anything like that. It was a bit of a concern, but I wasn't too much concerned because I did have faith in the broker then that any issue that we had in terms of land would be resolved by him, because that's what we paid for. We paid for a complete package, and you expect a complete package. However, what we got was not a complete package. It wasn't even a package. It wasn't even barely a package. So what we found out is that we were led to believe that we were buying store land. This is not store land. This is family land. Family land was land that we did not want because we'd done heavy research into family land and understood the implications of buying family land and how family land can always turn sour for both the family and the buyer. So we really did not want family land. We brought this to the broker and he dismissed it. He said, oh no, the people are just trying it. Oh, I've met this chief, he's crooked. Oh, don't worry, people are just trying to scam money out of you. All the excuses under the sun. the family kept coming. And I said, me and my wife were saying, like, they can't keep coming if they don't actually have a claim to this land. Like, it'd be redundant. Like, if we sent them away and they come back and we send them away, and they come back and we send them away, like, you just give up after a while. But they didn't. They were tenacious, and they said, no, this is family land. And then a couple of days later, I had a visit from the chief and 3 of his brothers. All came to the house and we had a conversation. There were some threats made. Things got a little bit heated, both between them and us, because obviously I'm standing here and I'm trying to defend my family. They're standing there trying to defend their family land, you know. So we're both at loggerheads, and the person who's meant to be in the middle rectifying this is nowhere to be seen. I think even when we came here, we didn't see him for a good 6 months. 5-6 months. We never saw him on the land for a good 5-6 months. And then when we did see him, it was just passing to go, I think, just behind our land over there to do a little, I don't know, photo shoot with him and his wife. And then that was it, gone. So yeah, we didn't really see him. So anyway, we were invited by the family to sit down and talk, and basically they wanted to talk settlement because they hadn't been settled. So obviously I was like, huh? You haven't been settled? Red flags, questions. Why haven't they been settled? Oh no, they've been settled. They've been settled. They're just trying to get more money out of you. Don't pay them, you know. Don't interact with them. I just wouldn't even engage with them. Don't let them intimidate you. And it's like, it's not about intimidation. But yes, it's also about intimidation, I suppose, if we're being honest. Because I'm here by myself, my wife and kids, and it's my job as a provider to protect all of them and ensure our safety and our future here. So if people are coming to the house telling me about they're going to bulldoze the house down, they're going to come in the middle of the night and bulldoze the house down, I'm like, oh no, you're not. You know, these were the extents of the conversations we were having. So from then it's already put me in a heightened state, you know, of defense mode is the best way I can put it. So it was defense. So when we talk, it'd be heated. We'd listen, but it would be heated. We'd listen. It'd always be amicable, but it'd be very, very heated because I have something to defend. They have something to defend, and the person that is in the middle of the conflict is not here, you know. And I tried to get the person here. They didn't come. We arranged to meet and sit down with the family. They didn't come. He finally came, sent his representative for me to sit down in a meeting with the family, which in the cultural meeting is you sit down and you be quiet and you listen. But the issue is that I had no translator, so I didn't understand what anybody was saying. The person who was representing the broker, his business partner, spoke fluent Tree, but didn't translate fluent Tree to me. So I understood nothing of what they said in the conversation. We came back to the land and the family showed us on this side, my acre at the front, the acre at the back, all the way down to the river they own. The acre across, all the way down to the river they own, all the way back up to the roadside they own. And then they own across the road, both sides going straight up. So they own in total 18 acres, I was told. So it's like, okay, so they do have legitimate claim. And Kwame and the representative said, yes, they have legitimate claim. I said, okay, cool. He said, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. You just paid them something small. They gave me a 5-figure sum. They gave me a sum to pay. And I said, no. I said, well, I don't know what I'm paying it for. And 2, I don't understand what actually happened in the meeting. You know, it's very hard for somebody who doesn't understand Tree to sit in a meeting where you have sub-chief in there, and you have 8 family members, and then a representative from the broker that you bought, who didn't explain the outcome. All I knew was that we couldn't build, we couldn't proceed, we couldn't continue until they told us to, until we settle and they can go, basically. And that was found out after the fact. So when they asked me to pay a little something, give the family a little something, it was like, no, because how do I know that little something won't turn into a big something, and then that big something turn into another big something, and it spiral out of control? No, I need it to be finished and need to be as it's agreed. Like, I'm paying this amount for land because I'm expecting everything to be settled. You told me it's litigation free land. Why am I sitting here in the middle of litigation? So now my emotions are heightened, and I'm distrusting everybody around me now. I'm distrusting Ghanaians, and I'm distrusting my own, you know? So everything is heightened, everything is elevated. Stress, anxiety, fear that we're going to be homeless. And ironically, unknowingly, I don't know, the brokers put us in the same position that they were previously in with their family. They found themselves homeless at one point in time, and they were looking on the kindness of strangers to help them out, which Ghanaians helped them out. So for me, it was phenomenal that they'd sit back and be so nonchalant and cavalier about, oh, don't worry, it's okay, or if I were you, I just wouldn't talk to them. Like, that's not a resolution. Not talking, not having dialogue is not a resolution. If I don't have dialogue, then that causes bad blood. It also shows disrespect on a cultural level, that I have no regard for you and who you say you are and who you claim to be, even though you're the only people that have been persistent coming to my land back and forth. Nobody else, just that one same family. And then I find out later on that the broker, bought land off of a chief, which he'd done another settlement further down. And this is actually the chief's land. Well, I say the chief's land, it's the chief's family's land, which the chief does not have jurisdiction over family land. The chief only has jurisdiction over stall land, is what I'm led to believe. So this time I was like, but what about my paperwork? So my paperwork, I've got my indenture. It's legit. It looks legitimate. It looks like everything I've researched. I've showed it to people like that. Yeah, this is correct. This is correct. This is correct. You're free. Even my contractor looked at it. He said, "Yep. You're free." And then things start unraveling at a later date, and we now are in a position where we understand that, one, the indentures provided by the broker are fraudulent. If they're wrong, they're fraudulent, right? So it turns out the person whose name was on it isn't the person who owns the land. It's his business partner, which we knew, but we thought they'd already bought the land and they'd registered it themselves, and then they're selling it on. So that's where we were duped, is because they were given the land to buy. So they bought the land with the money that we've invested, but they hadn't registered the land. Otherwise the land would have now come up in, let's say, I don't know, Tudor developments, let's say, and when you do your land search, you'll come up the Elohim developments or whatever. That name will come up when you do a site search for your land, and then you can say, okay, cool, I verified now that the person actually selling me the land owns the land. So that wasn't done. So to me, that's fraud. Like, agree, disagree, couldn't care less. It's fraud. Fraud is fraud. So you've given us fraudulent papers, and we've only found that out recently. And when I say recently, I mean December, November, December, recently. Anyway, I'm sure people weren't expecting this type of video today. So yes, so we arranged to meet the family, and obviously they've had a conversation. They've said pay. I've said no. I said, I've already paid you X amount. This is supposed to cover everything, you know? This is supposed to cover everything. Oh no, but if you don't want to pay, then don't pay. And that was the attitude. If you don't want to pay, don't pay. And it's like, it's not that I don't want to pay. It's just that I don't want to pay again, you know? Because now who's pocketing money, you know? Anyway, so we met again with the family. I had another meeting with the family because we continued building, and they told us to stop very forcefully. So we weren't allowed to continue. We haven't been allowed to continue for a little while until we've had this resolved, just to avoid litigation and ill will and bad feelings between us and the family. So we've respected their terms. We've sat down. We had got an official letter from the head of the family to say they want to sit down and meet. I then contacted the broker and the representative to see if one of them can come to attend the meeting, and we can sort this out, and the broker or the representative can settle them. Now, I was told by the representative that this should have already been settled. This is something he was fighting for, but it's not. So for us, we weren't settled. I can't speak for anybody else, You know, you'll find out whether you're settled or not when you come, if the land is still there, you know, because I sat down with the Kota chief and he said, like, nobody else is coming on this piece of land right now. It's family land. So I don't think, unless they're going to buy it from the family directly, that's just what I've been told. So yeah, so sorry, this is a bit hard. So yes, so got invited by the head of the family to come and sit down and have a meeting. Very last minute, so I was trying to scramble, get a representative, get the broker himself to actually come. And the previous meeting, the broker did actually meet with the family. Let me correct that. But he met after. He met with the chief, not the family, the chief, by himself. He came and he went, they sat down, they had a meeting, they had a good old chat. Nobody was invited, no feedback was given other than, yeah, just he wants you to call them. And I called him, I said, okay, cool. He said, it's sorted, it's fine, everything's good, you're good to build, and so on and so forth, it's sorted. He just wants you to call him. I called him, yeah, pay us something. I'm like, huh? Like, no, it's not sorted, because I'm not paying nobody nothing. I've paid you my money, you pay them. Oh no, but I've already paid some other person for this land, which we now find out is the wrong person, you know, allegedly. So it's been a very tumultuous terrain right now. So in the end, I ended up going to sit down with the family myself. I brought an interpreter myself, and I brought somebody else who I trusted to come and sit down as my representatives. One, to translate for me so I understood everything that was going on. We sat down, we had a family meeting. The whole family wasn't there, but we sat down, we had a family meeting with the head of the family, and we explained the situation. We explained what had happened, that we'd paid the broker. I've tried to get the broker to come several times and he hasn't come himself personally. We've explained that his his business partner came, but only came once. I did inform him, I did share the numbers. I said I did invite him to come, but he hasn't turned up, which leads me to believe that, you know what, my thoughts in the first place were true, that we literally left to our own devices. It's like, thank you for the money, F you, bye bye, you know. So we sat down, we had the meeting, we begged, we pleaded, we argued our case. I argued my case for myself and my family. I said, listen, we told them exactly what happened, we told them exactly who we bought off of, we told them what the situation was, and they took consideration on us, you know. So in the end, we were able to actually come to a conclusion with the family right now. So I'm just thankful to the Most High that this was something that we could do. But I also want to share a warning to people that just because you have your indentures doesn't mean nothing. Just because you have your land registered doesn't mean nothing. We had our indentures, we thought they were done the right way. Turns out that they wasn't, and now we have to get new indentures done, which means a new fee. We don't even know how much for the indenture, really and truly, but we've been told it's a minor fee in terms of what to pay to get a new indenture redone. The family have agreed. I've also sat down with the chief of the area, and his brother is the chief of the next town and the chief over everybody here. So he's well aware of the situation, and he actually met with the broker where they had a very extensive meeting, and let's say a lot of truths were shed, and it had to be a lot of truths because it was a 4-hour meeting. It's that long. It's so long that I've only even myself gone through half of it, but the half that I've listened to is enough for me. Plus my own experiences right now is enough for me to just warn people about buying land online. If you're buying from people who claim to be brokers or developers, make sure they're registered, you know, make sure they're GREDA registered, Ghana Real Estate Development Authority registered, you know, because then you have a way and means to hold them accountable, because right now it just seems that people are lacking accountability, you know, and people are using one of the selling points, which was the Most High, to sell land. And I'm all about you doing things the right way. But when things go belly up, you know, you still have to do the right thing, you know. Preaching preaching is only preaching. Like, if there's no intention behind it, it's just empty words, you know. So you have to really live what you speak. And I don't feel people are living what they're speaking, because you're allowing people to come and face these same situations and be put in these financial hardships as quote unquote rites of passage. Nonsense. But I am thankful, because even though we are here, we have faith, you know. We've had nothing but faith throughout the whole experience, throughout the whole emotions, throughout the anger, throughout the frustrations, throughout the rage, throughout the upset, throughout the, I don't even know, throughout the, words escape me right now. So we've had faith, and we've put our faith and asked for calmness and still. But one thing we definitely do know is that there is lessons to be learnt here. You can have an indenture, you can have all the paperwork, but you need to also verify that the names on the paperwork are actually the people who actually own the land. And if it's not, if people are posing as developers, then they should have the land registered in their name already, you know, or have it registered in the chief's name that they've bought it off of, you know, not some second or third party that has nothing to do with the land, has no claim or no ownership or no title over the land. That's fraud. Whether you like to call a spade, it's fraud. That's what it is, and that is our experience so far. So guys, you just have to be very, very, very careful. The due diligence does not stop. We were fortunate enough to come to an amicable resolution with the family, and we will be continuing as of next week, hopefully. So we have a lot of updates, because we did start the wall, but we had to pause while we sort this out. And as you can appreciate, it's been a very, very stressful period for us all, but many lessons are learned. And I know some of the people in my comments have already said about people being duped in Africa and Ghana, and that's what makes it a hard place. Ghana is, and Africa is upcoming, you know. They're just not moving as fast as we're used to in the West, but they're playing a lot of catch up right now, you know. There's a lot of good things, and for all the bad things that went wrong, I had all the right people standing behind me, but most of all, the Most High, you know, because he put me in lines with the right people who helped me get the resolution that we have. He also gave me the courage to stand up for what I believe in as well, you know, and do what needs to be done, you know. As you can see, the land here is beautiful. This patch of land here, we're actually looking to develop and build something else here once we have the wall going up along the back here. But as far as our experience, positive, negative, that's life. That's life. Love it or hate it, you're gonna have your ups and downs. The same way you can get scammed in the UK, US, Europe, you know, the same way you can get scammed in Ghana, except you don't expect to be duped, whether the person who sold you the land has been duped themselves. You know, you don't expect that. You expect people to always do the right things. And I think that's the most important thing, is that when problems happen, accountability needs to happen. You know, there's no point selling land if you're just selling land and you have no consciousness or awareness about the whole cultural aspect of land buying. Like, people don't even know that there's cultural markers for lands that we don't even know. Like, I was shown like trees that they use specifically as land markers to divide land. Now this is a generational thing that's been going on from day dot, you know, but you wouldn't know this unless you come to the ground and you test the waters yourself. So when you come to buy land in Ghana, do not shy away from buying land in Ghana. Do not shy away from buying land in Eastern region where I am. It is beautiful. The people are very welcoming, they're very friendly, and yes, you're going to have your ups and downs. You may have your ups and downs, but hopefully there'll be enough education there. You come down, you lay your foundations, you take your time. You know, you take your time, you put your stones on your land, you come and check it every day, and you talk to the locals, get to know who owns the land. The locals know everything about your area. Wow. All you have to do is just ask a question: who owns this land? And they'll tell you, oh, Kota chief, oh, Kraboa chief, oh, this family, oh, that family, oh, and so on, oh, Bree, you know? So, I mean, there's always lessons to be learned, but I think that's the beauty of being here, and I'm just grateful as the sun is going down, if you can see. That is a beautiful sight. So every day I wake up to this and I go to sleep to this, and I'm just thankful that I'm here, you know. This is something that we worked very hard to attain and to be here, come what may, ups and downs, you know. But just because you have a down doesn't mean you can't flip it to a up, you know. And I'm sure you'll be hearing lots more testimonials from other people and their experiences about their ups and downs in Ghana. But like always, we just want to keep it real. And it's taken us a while to bring this out because we wanted to have some concrete facts and understanding about how and why and what, the who's, the what's, the where's, the when's, the why's. You know, we wanted to know everything before we spoke out on anything. So we've been going through this pretty much solo. No support from the broker, no intervention from the broker, no refund from the broker. Because technically we were sold land that you don't even own. So we are here. But then again, you know, I don't like to do bad business, you know. So for all those who are aware of the situation, thank you all for your support, for your kind words. For all those who I may have offended in my own feelings, I apologize, but it was very heightened time for myself. But like I said, guys, stay on your job. You know, it's never easy moving to another country, but I promise you, it is worth it. Now, and it's only worth it if the lens you're looking out from is forward facing, if you get what I mean. So always trying to take the positive out of the negative. We've had a lot of negative experiences, but that's educated us into how things work. So now we understand that the head of the family is the legal representative who can decide to sell land or not, you know, and his say is final, is what we are led to believe right now. And when you're doing your paperwork, check your paperwork, double check your paperwork, check with the locals who own the land, check with multiple people, you know. Also check, because even with our land, we've got 2 acres, but we just found out that that from the river, if I show you, from the river back there, all the way back there, we found out that when it is rainy season, just before we came actually, we found out that the river had breached and the water actually covered the back acre all the way to the banana trees. If you can see the banana trees there, to these banana trees. So this is something I found out in just the last couple of weeks. So watch this space. Obviously the river's banks bursting is a normal thing here, but how far the water comes uphill is potentially an issue for those who own land downhill. So always look at the topography as well. So when you come and look at the land that you're on, always look and see if you're on high land or low land, because if you're on low land, you may encounter some problems in rainy season, but for the dry season you'll always benefit from access of water because you're closer to the ground, you know, to water levels, whereas us, we're on higher levels. So sometimes, like now, it's hammer time, so it's very dry very dry, very dusty, and sometimes we have to top up manually for the water, and that's just an issue that we are going to rectify by probably digging a well. So family, I've kept you for a long time and I do apologize, but I hope it's been informative. Please like, share and subscribe, and any questions please put it in the posts and I will get back to you as shortly as possible with updates. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. Good night.